It's not the destination, it's the journey. So if you have no journey, you have no lessons and you have no stories. And Justin absolutely nailed it. I know a lot of people who are born rich and they've stayed rich and they're not even happy. That's the worst possible existence you can hope for. You're born rich, you have nothing to strive for in your life. What are you striving for, right? You're striving for status as a man, and the status is going to come from money. And money's only going to be interesting because you're going to talk about all the times you were poor. That's what it's about. All these brokey days are going to be the best days of your life once you're out. It's like getting out of jail and telling your jail stories. It's funny, right? But if you stay in jail, it ain't that funny. So don't be complaining about it. Margaret Thatcher said it. She said the best life anyone can live is to be born with good parents and no money. And she absolutely and utterly nailed it. It was Margaret Thatcher, the OG.
Yeah,
she nailed it. So guys, don't be sitting here talking about, oh, I'm poor, I'm short, whatever. We discussed that. That whole frame is wrong. Change it. You're a fucking full-grown man. Change it.
I'll go super chat.
I think that a lot of people make up a lot of excuses for the fact that they just lack motivation and fire blood. And people are like, oh, but how did you find motivation? Because I wanted to win. If your mind is so fragile that ejaculating is going to make you not have the will to conquer or to be an important specimen, if you're just going to jerk off and then lay in bed all day, well, then you're a jackass. Your problems are beyond semen retention. They truly are, right? Yeah. You either want it or you don't. You either want it or you don't want it. And a lot of people make up a lot of excuses and a lot of reasons for why they don't feel like they want it. And semen retention just feels like that to me. Oh, if I, maybe this will help me stop being a loser. No, sir. You're a loser because your mentality is loserish. So that's a good energy. And I've already made a lot of Tate speeches and talked about how simping can damage the world as a whole. But I think also when you're simping, part of your soul dies. And that's really important as a man. We're all vessels to some form of another of God. And when you're living a life and you know you're simping or you're doing something wrong, even if you get what you want, even if you simp your way to that pussy, there's a degree of guilt to it. Do you guys know what I'm saying? You know when you sit home all day and play video games? I haven't done this in years, but when I was like 15,
I used to.
And I played video games all day. I may have completed the level, but there was that nagging feeling in the back of my mind. Like I shouldn't have done that. And that's the same thing with simping. It hurts you deep to your core, and that kind of thing adds up. It's shame is a acquired taste. It's something you have to get used to accept. And if you never allow yourself to get used to the taste, it's going to taste bitter, like ash. It's going to annoy you. It's going to aggravate you the second you taste it. And that's how you should be. And I want a lot of people to understand as well, because there's a whole bunch of negative feelings and negative understandings and frames about what simping is. Loving a woman's not simping. Taking care of a woman's not simping.
It's not.
It's not at all. But once she has zero interest in you and you just simply can't let that go, then yeah, you are simping, and that's going to hurt you to your soul. Name a single attribute for masculinity which is going to come from a place other than trauma or pain. I talk about this all the time. People say I've had a traumatic life. I say, well, then you're very, very fortunate. You had a traumatic life. Now, you may have misused that trauma. You may have misplaced it. You may have accepted the matrix telling you that you now have an excuse to fail, as opposed to using it to grow. But every single man of value went through trauma, and they went through pain. It's going to be painful to get strong, painful to get rich, painful to become important. It's going to be painful to become good with women. Your heart's going to get broken a bunch of times. You have to be prepared for the pain. If you're not ready for pain, you're never going to be anything that matters. So Justin just absolutely and utterly nailed it. My kickboxing coach used to say to me, I used to come in the gym, say, what do you hate the most? And I said, I hate running. He said, okay, you're going running. I say, why? He goes, because whatever you hate is what you need. Whatever you hate is what you need. I wanted to spar, bag work, pads, no problem. Running, I didn't want to run, but that's what you need. And that's what life's about. You're not going to be able to go through life avoiding pain and also becoming a man of quality. You're going to have to be that guy who's been through so much shit that he can wake up and go, this ain't nothing. This ain't nothing compared to back then. This ain't nothing compared to that time. You know, and if you're not going to be that guy, then you're going to always suffer the consequences of not being that guy. There's pain to become important, and there's pain in not being important. You need to find something you're afraid of, find something that could hurt you, and go do it. And that's one of the great things about being young, right? You're basically superhuman.
Yeah.
All of us are our age. We're all in our 30s. I remember when I was 21. Yeah. I run 20 miles.
Fight
and you
all
couldn't
day.
hurt me. Like I had Wolverine-like healing abilities. And this is actually one of the problems with the world today. I noticed the internet's fucked this up because we have all these youngsters who have a voice. They all think they know something on Twitter and on the internet, these kids, right? When I was 23, 22, I didn't know shit. I'm 35 now. I'm one of the smartest men on the planet. And when I was 23, I didn't know shit. When you're 35, you're definitely going to still be a dumbass. So when you're 23, like you are now, you don't know anything. Your only attribute is the fact you have Wolverine-like healing abilities and you're not using it. Stop talking. Start listening. Get out there. Get hurt. Get the fuck back up. And there's a degree This is also something I want you to comment on from the football perspective, but there is a degree of wisdom that comes from physicality. I learned a whole bunch of shit about the world from just having my ass kicked. It wasn't even conversations. It was just getting beaten up. And you learn about the world I write tweets and people are like, that's so wise. Where'd you learn that? I was like, oh, kicked in the face. That's how.
Yeah, dude,
physicality is reality.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. And I think that's another thing that actually has a huge correlation to your ability to be successful. If someone were to say to me and say, how can you tell someone's going to be successful? I wouldn't say highest IQ. And we've already proved this with studies, right? The highest IQ has nothing to do with how successful you are.
It doesn't.
I would say the number one thing that will tell me how successful a person will be, especially as a man, is their stress tolerance.
Yes.
You're not going to have a big life without big problems. You're not going to be important without 4 girlfriends, 22 cars, 3 businesses. Fuck, your phone ain't going to stop. It's going to be stressful. Banks are going to get frozen. Money's going to go missing. You're not going to have a big life that's a calm ocean. You need to learn to just surf the waves and laugh, because most people just collapse under the pressure. Stress tolerance is a massive indicator of how successful you're going to be. And no matter what happens in my life now, I can sit there and go, well, at least I'm not about to get in the cage and deal with that guy, you know? And you need to have, at least I can eat. We've all been through stages where we can't eat. So stress tolerance is something that can be learned. It's something that you can, like you said, when you're young, it's a muscle.
It's a muscle.
When you're young, go out there and get stressed, get upset, have those sleepless nights. You should, at 17, 18, you should be panicking, right? And that's going to give you a stress tolerance level that allows you to grow into an adult, which can handle a big life. You're not going to have a big life. You're not going to be here like all 4 of us are, living the life like we're living, rolling around Europe in supercars with unlimited finance, and have that big life and think that you're not going to have any kind of stress or problems to get there and maintain it. That's not real. Yeah, there's a degree of happiness which is intrinsic, which is actually something that most men, I don't believe, have experienced, because it comes with true success. People always talk about fuck you money, right? It's not just about saying fuck you. It's about truly being able to express how you feel. And that comes with success. And I don't mean success financially. I mean success in all realms. Most men can't raise their voice. They can't raise their voice at their job. They'll get fired. They can't raise their voice in their house. Their woman's be like, who the fuck you yelling at? They can't raise their voice at anyone. They're not allowed to be angry and someone to give a shit, right? There's something amazing about living with true intention and just being happy when you're happy, being mad when you're mad, and people caring. If we get mad, people are like, shit, he's mad. You know, you know what I'm saying? Imagine being a full-grown man and being furious and going, better shut up. Yeah. Absolutely. You can't go back from that. Once you can live with true intention and like a true heart, it's a beautiful thing. And most men, especially, you suppress yourself. You don't live that way. You're not allowed to. If society doesn't want to, your circumstances don't allow you. And that's something once you've gone to, you can't go back to. I'm allowed to be miserable if I decide to be. You understand? No, you nailed it. And that's where it comes with a degree of success. And when you're talking about what you couldn't live without, one of the greatest things about being rich is not having money. It's just about being able to say, you know what? I could make $1 million if I worked with that person, but I don't like that person. Oh, that person's a big podcast. I don't like them. Oh, but Andrew, he could put you on. I don't like that. I don't need money. I don't like you. It's just like, fuck you. Like, I don't need you. Like it's being true to yourself and true to your intent. And once you're true to your intent, I also believe, if we're going to get spiritual, I believe you get closer to God. I believe you become a better person. You're a better person when you don't go through life lying. Most men are going through life putting on a face they don't want to put on, saying things they don't want to say, repeating things they don't believe. And we all know that lies are a sin, gentlemen. And you are lying to yourself and everyone around you. People will come here and say, oh, Andrew's full of shit, Andrew's arrogant, whatever. I live with true intent. If I tell you I like you, I like you. If you come up to me on the street and I'm like, oh, hey, G, I wish the best for you. I wish the absolute best for you. If I dislike you and I'll punch you in the face, I meant it. I live with complete true intent. I have a pure heart. And I believe that's more important. And that's something that's so valuable. Most men don't even know how that feels. So one more thing I want to talk about while you guys are on the show, because I think a lot of people don't understand about the world. And I get this a lot because my view on the world and the way I write things is, I've been told many times my view on the world and the way I write things comes from a place of violence. And people see that as a bad thing, but I don't think it's from a place of violence. I think that my life and my worldview is from a place of competition. And I believe that the world is player versus player. I believe you need a winning team, because I believe you're trying to beat the losing teams. I believe every single girl that any of us get, we took from some other dude who wanted her. That's the truth.
You're damn right.
Every dollar you make, someone else wanted. right? To a degree, it's competition. It always has been. It's player versus player. So I don't really feel sorry for the people who don't put themselves in a winning position, because people like us need them to beat. You can't have a winner without a loser. So, and I also, and this is another view of mine, if someone truly wants to be a winner, they don't really need that much help to get there. So who helped you guys in your early days? Like, who was actually really telling you to not be a fat piece of shit besides yourself? Obviously, we all had our inspirations. I had mine, but was there anyone big in your life who was coming along saying, no, you got to keep it together? Or was it just looking in the mirror and knowing what you're supposed to do and doing it anyway?
Yeah.
So there's nothing. What did we talk earlier about how trauma can mold you, how trauma can be a fantastic thing? Heartbreak, depression, sadness. These are all fantastic motivators. I'm telling you why they're a fantastic motivator. You go to a guy who's heartbroken, he has all the motivation in the world to send 300 text messages. He has the motivation. He's putting it in the wrong place.
I got you.
Life's going to hurt you, and how you use that pain is completely and utterly up to you. You can use that pain to galvanize yourself as a man and become a better man you've ever been. I'm not saying that I'm only successful because of some chick. I'm saying that every single time that I was heartbroken, I never wasted a second. I was never wallowing. That's what I'm saying. But there's not many truly, like, if you put effort into the universe, I think it's Newton's second law, right? Equal and opposite force. People always say, oh, I wish I had something to work on. You could work hard on anything. It can be the most jackass thing. You can work hard on, I don't know, whittling twigs. But if you truly work your ass off, it's difficult for it to have a negative impact on your life. Maybe you'll end up with an Instagram page, the best Instagram page on twig whittling. And who knows, right? My point is that it's very hard to find truly negative energy that's directed in a semi-positive direction. It's hard to say I'm working my ass off at X and it's made my life worse. You know, you're not doing anything, and you're asking the question, hoping I'm going to give you some magical answer that's going to allow you to be motivated forever. But motivation isn't real. Everyone says this. Motivation is not real. Discipline's real. I do not feel like training, but I still train because I'm a disciplined individual. You don't get to go through life only doing the things you feel like doing. Do you know who gets to do that?
Women.
Beautiful women. Beautiful women get to do what they feel like doing. As a man, you have to do the things you're supposed to do, because what we said earlier is absolutely true. It's player versus player, my friend. Now, if I wake up, I've already got this massive head start over you in life, in nearly every genetic gift, plus all my finances, plus my network. And I wake up and I decide, even though I don't feel like working, I'm going to work my ass off. And you wake up way down there, a peon, and you can't be bothered to work. What chance do you have against men like us? You don't stand a chance. You can't get the girl. We'll take the girl off you. We'll bankrupt your ass. We'll kick you out your house. You name it. You don't stand a chance. Now, if you're going to wake up and look in the mirror and understand that you're absolutely not only crushable, that you're a rabbit and that lions exist, and that's not going to motivate you to do something about it, then you're a lost cause. And there's no point in asking us a question. You know exactly what you need to do. If you want to stay killable, then stay killable. But I can't live that way. I would refuse to live that way. It's a disgrace to my bloodline. It's a disgrace to my parents who struggled to raise me for me to be anything other than the best version of myself. That's honor. I have honor to my last name and to my ancestry. It would be disgusting for them all to have fought saber-toothed tigers so I can wake my lazy ass up, jerk off all day, and ask on YouTube how I can stop being a fucking loser. You understand where I'm coming from?
Oh, 100%.
So this is down to you, my friend. And listen, you may feel fired up for 10 minutes after this little talk, but you're not going to feel fired up forever. You need to put systems in place. You need to get discipline. You need to get an atmosphere of people around you who are going to keep you accountable and not make it easy for you to continue to be a fucking nobody. And then you're going to fix your life. Otherwise, you're going to stay a nobody. That's your problem. It ain't my problem. It's your problem.